So before we get into the AI part of it, which I'm really, really excited about, it's a new tool that we've developed, and it's still in the rough drafting stage, but I figure the best way for us to continue to develop this tool, which we'll get to in just a moment, is to have people use it and just kind of just test it, see where the weaknesses are, see where the strengths are, and just build it up for the sake of the beekeeping community. Anyways, we'll get to that in just a minute. For those of you wondering what you need to be watching for this time of year in our area, we're in Western Washington. I'm just south of Olympia, about 20 miles, Olympia, Washington. Feed. Just make sure that your hives still have good weight to them, that they're not. It sucks if you've got really good, strong bees that make it this far and then you find out that they just starved. And so just check their weight. This time of the year, or I mean, with the temperatures that we've been getting in the mid 50s to the high 50s, I wouldn't hesitate to open up a hive, pull a frame or two, and check, make sure that everything's going good. However, I wouldn't do a in-depth inspection of your hive. I would just pull a frame or two, just check the lid or open the lid, just see how big the cluster is, just for your own personality and possibly for your own mental health. of, are your bees dead or are they alive? But anyway, so that's about it. Oh, one last thing on the what to watch for this time of year would be you can do oxalic acid treatments, vaporization. Take advantage of this. The bees are going to be starting to brood up now, which means that oxalic acid vaporization is going to become less and less effective as there's more and more cap brood for the varroa mite to hide in. So, okay, now I'm going to switch back to my computer so I can give you a little tour of this Chat GPT Hive Mentor that we created. Okay, so I have a link that I placed up there as far as if you've never used Chat GPT before. If you have, then you're going to know exactly what to do, and I'll just show you the name of the GPT. For those of you, in short, if you're not familiar with this is the latest like the cutting edge of AI, and the whole selling point of this, well, there's a lot, is that you're able to communicate with this thing like it's another person, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. But if you go to that link, create yourself an account, and then you're going to see an option once you get an account and you get signed in to explore GPTs. And you go there, there's going to be a little search bar that comes up, and we'll try it. Explore. And what you want to do is the Hive Mentor, which, and then that comes up. Now, I'm not going to click on that because it's going to create another tab and then I'm going to lose my recording, which I found out because this is the third time I've tried recording this. And anyway, so I'm just going to go back here, but it's going to bring you to this, the Hive Mentor. And what I'm going to do is actually go to some questions I asked it earlier, just for the sake of efficiency of time here. And here's an example of what you can do. I asked it, what's the best treatment for varroa mites this time of the year? And the first answer it gives, obviously, it says, well, it depends on the time of the year, but for this time of the year, oxalic acid, because it's minimal to no brood in the hive, which is exactly what we just talked about. So it's a great answer, and then gives you these other options here. Now, just kind of, I ask a second question, something unrelated, and that is, I'm going to split my bees using the queen excluder method. Can you create a list of tools that I should take with me for doing this? Now, just think in terms of, say you're working a full-time job, or if you're retired, which means you're even more busy, and you need to go check your bees, but you've been running and you're like, oh God, I need to check to see if they got to be super, they probably are getting ready to swarm, blah, 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 blah. You can open this app up, this GPT, the Hive Mentor, and type in there, listen, it's spring, it's the end of May, my bees are probably super strong and are going to have swarm cells. Can you create a list of things and tools I need to take with me and things that I probably should be prepared for. And it'll create a list for you, as you can see here. And I mean, it was a comprehensive list. I mean, I would say half of this I wouldn't take with me, but just even to have it generate the list, and then you can choose the pros and cons of what you want to take with you. It's just like a calculator. You still have to understand the formulas, you still have to understand the result you're going after, but all of the in between work you can let this thing do to just make your time more efficient and your life less complicated. Even though, as with learning any technology, initially it may feel like your life is getting more technical and more complicated until after the learning curve, but that's just life. So then I asked a follow up question. What's the most efficient way to make honeybee colony splits using a queen excluder? And then it goes through the way of doing that as well. Here's another example of, my manager from our retail store was asked to do a 5 minute, I think it was a 5 minute or 10 minute presentation for, I believe it was third graders. And she's busy, but she loves educating and she has a lot of knowledge already. And so I told her, I said, well, let's ask Chat GPT to write out a 5 minute outline and tell Chat GPT. And here's what we did. I've been asked to give a 5 minute presentation to a class of third graders. Can you create an outline that would be engaging for me to use to discuss honeybees and beekeeping? And in probably 20 seconds, it does this. Here's another thing. Maybe you've been asked to speak at your local bee club meeting and you have an idea. This is where it's really important. It's garbage in, garbage out. If you go in and say, and here, I'll give you an example. I've been asked to give a 30-minute talk to my local bee club about beekeeping. Please create an outline for me. If you do something generic like that, it will. I mean, it'll generate a 30-minute outline for giving a talk about beekeeping to your bee club. But how how intriguing is that to go to a bee club and talk about beekeeping? You need to be more specific. Garbage in, garbage out, gold in, gold out. And so if you go get specific and say, listen, I want to address the way of, I've been given 20 minutes to talk about maximizing honey production in my area, and then include the area that you're in. I know the main honey flow is from mustard, clover, whatever. Um, Give me three specific strategies that I can use and teach to maximize honey production. And then you can go over what it produces and ask it to edit, ask it to elaborate, ask it to minimize, all of that kind of stuff. And it just makes your life a lot simpler. And so here you go. Here's a 30-minute introduction or advanced beekeeping practices for sustainable apiculture. I'm kind of curious to see what it came up with. And here's one last example I give. And I still wouldn't totally rely upon this, but I've actually been surprised with how accurate it can be. And that is, if I take a picture of something in my hive or of my hive that I feel like either the bees are sick or there's something going on, here I've got just a stock photo of some dysentery that I just uploaded here. I just selected the file, uploaded, and now I'm going to ask it, can you diagnose what is going on with the colony health in this picture? And be just curious to see if it recognizes anything. And sometimes it takes a little while. It thinks the image, blah blah blah. Could be, yeah, okay, could be fecal matter, be dysentery. Yeah, so I mean, it's a great example of you can do this while you're out at the in your bees. Take a picture. Now, obviously, I've often said if you buy nukes from us, feel free to call, text, email. That's part of our ongoing customer service. Send us pictures if you're already a customer with us. But here's a perfect way of being able to ask the Hive mentor, what does this look like? And then, depending on what it gives, then you can go and have it either, confirmed with an actual person or a lab or what have you. It's just meant to be a resource that is incredibly helpful to our industry. And then the overarching goal of all of this is the company that has made Chat GPT still hasn't clarified yet how people who are developers, like us developing this little GPT called the Hive Mentor, they haven't quite yet clarified how we're going to make money off of this. They say there's going to be opportunity for that. Whatever the case, when that happens, my plans for this is any profit to be donated back to honeybee research. Really, the overarching thing here is for this to be a great resource that when you're out in your bee yard, or if you're going to go talk to a school about beekeeping or your local bee club or whatever, how can this technology further magnify and help the information that you already have? How can it help do some heavy lifting for you so that your mind and your time and attention can be on things that matter more? And so, anyways, hopefully you kind of get the idea of this. Check it out and let me know. And then, lastly, please provide feedback. And the way you do that, because this is how it continues to learn. So, say that this answer was just BS. It says, "Oh, it looks like brown sugar coming from the hive. Bees love sugar," or something, some stupid like that, which I predict is going to happen. It's part of the learning model because this technology literally works like our human brain in the learning process. So if it gives you a nonsense answer like that, go to the bottom here and hit thumbs down, and then it'll ask you, what could we have done better? And that's how it learns. And then lastly, actually, if you come up to the top and you click on the Hive Mentor, you can also send feedback that way as well. Whatever the case, just if you have the time, if intrigues you, use it, give lots of feedback, help it learn. And like I said, my goal and my vision for this was just for it to be another resource for our incredible, absolutely incredible industry, whether it's hobbyist, sideliners, or commercial. Anyways, I will catch you later. Bye bye. Or bye. Bye bye. Bye. Goodbye.